Oh, it's just incredible to see what goes on in that control room, Draper. Right about half a dozen people with headsets on, all talking into them, all at the same time. It's like organized chaos, isn't it?
And it all looks so simple to the viewer. That's a sign of an excellent technical staff.
You know, you really ought to come down to the studio sometime just to see how things work.
No, thanks. I prefer my television to be simple.
There you are. Your drinks at last.
Oh, thank you. Listen, Elliott, I'm sorry about there only being 3 of us instead of 4. Miles is a little later than he said he was going to be.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry he won't be able to join you after all.
Oh.
Your husband just called and said you'd have to enjoy the evening without him. He got stuck at the office, unfortunately.
I knew that was going to happen.
You know, so did I. The minute Miles called and said he was going to be late, I had a feeling he wouldn't be able to make it.
I gather Miles didn't want to come to the Unicorn.
Please, Mr. Scott, you'll hurt my feelings. Anyway, you apologized for not being able to talk to you on the phone, but you had a patient waiting outside or something like that.
Oh, well, that's all right. Thank you.
Enjoy it.
Looks like we're going to be a threesome.
Well, for all you've added to the conversation, we might as well be a twosome. Cheers.
You know, I think Draper might be right. I don't think Miles wanted to come to the Unicorn tonight. I don't think he cares for the place very much.
Yeah, but he said he'd be here.
Oh, I don't mean he's going back on his promise. I mean, he has a lot of work to do at the office. Carol's on vacation. He's been spending a lot of time at the hospital, too.
Looks like I'm going to be burning the midnight oil myself in the coming months.
Why? Why do you say that?
I've got to try to make something in my practice. I mean, if I can't make it in New York, I've got to try to make it in Monticello.
Draper, I always thought you were doing just fine here.
Don't kid yourself, Nicole. There's a big difference between doing just fine in Monticello and doing fine in New York. Swore I wasn't going to talk business tonight.
Nobody said you couldn't.
April said it.
I did not.
Not in so many words, April, but with looks you gave me before we got here after we arrived. I mean, that is the purpose of this dinner tonight, isn't it? I mean, to cheer me up.
Draper, I'm sure you know how much we're all sorry that the job didn't materialize for you.
I don't know what happened. I mean, I expected to be made a partner. Then he calls me and says no thanks.
What reason did he give?
He said that there was a change of policy at the firm.
You could call and ask him to be just a bit more specific.
Look, Nicole, if he wanted me to know, he would have told me.
Honey, look, it's all over and done with. Maybe you should just try to forget about it, huh?
Draper, you have every right to feel down, but it's not as if you have nothing to fall back on.
Exactly. Look, what did Mike do when you told him you didn't get the job? He felt bad, right? But he didn't feel bad at all about the fact that he wasn't going to lose a valued partner.
I could have been a member of one of the most prestigious law firms in the country.
Oh, come on, Draper, please. When I see you this unhappy, it makes me miserable, too.
April, you're giving a terrific performance. You ought to trade in your stopwatch and clipboard for an on-the-air job at WMON.
What are you trying to...
You keep saying you're commiserating with me, but the truth is you're happy as a clam about the way this stuff turned out.
Draper Scott, you're not being fair. You have absolutely no right to blame me for not wanting to leave my home, but I would have done it.
Or at least admit that you're happy about it. Sitting there pretending you're unhappy is hypocritical.
Hey, look, tonight's the worst night he could have picked. My wife's going to be here any second. Matter of fact, she may be here right now.
Hey, listen, sweet baby. You're the one that said you wanted to see me as soon as possible. Now, Logan's been on the campaign trail all day, so he has to go to the office tonight and catch up.
Yeah, I know it's a golden opportunity, but Margo's daughter and husband are going to be here any second, and she wouldn't want to miss that for the world.
Come on, Elliott. You have to think of something. I want you. And Logan may not be home until 1 o'clock or later.
I know, it's a license to steal, all right. But I simply have to pass tonight. I'm sorry, Ray.
You will do no such thing. Come on, Elliott, use your head. You can think of something. Tell her you have to visit a sick friend.
I don't think that old chestnut will work very well. I don't have many friends, and few of them... Hey, wait a second. That might not be such a bad idea after all.
There you go. Your mind's working already. I knew it would.
I may not have so many friends now, but there was a time when... Listen, if we could, where?
I don't know. Can't be any place public.
And you loathe motels, don't you? Despite their very great convenience.
Yes, I don't know any of those.
Well, I do know one. It's just out of town on Route 5. It's called Greensleeves.
Mm-hmm. How'd you find out about that?
Oh, I saw it advertised. It's brand new. It's a very great convenience. Now, if you could just swallow your pride once.
All right, I'll meet you there in an hour, and you better be there.
Okay, just a second. You certainly know your own mind, Raven, don't you? Mickey, could you step in here for a minute when you have a chance?
Shame about Miles. It would have been fun for you.
Yeah, well, Miles warned us he might have to work late, so...
Yeah, well, so did I. I just left my desk about 10 minutes ago. In fact, I could have used your lovely wife's assistance, but I felt you needed a little bit more.
Thanks for your permission.
Margo, I understand that Antoine has left the Unicorn.
Oh, yes, unfortunately he has. But don't worry about the quality of the food. Elliott insists that the new chef that we've hired is absolutely first rate.
Well, I'm afraid my husband doesn't have much of an appetite this evening.
Yes, Draper, I'm sorry. April told me the bad news. But look, don't let it get you down. I'm sure there are plenty of opportunities right here in Monticello.
Of course there are. I mean, look at my car. He's a perfect example. He spent his entire career in Monticello, and he has got to be one of the most well-respected lawyers in the whole country.
That's right. You know, this could be a blessing in disguise. And if there's ever anything that I can do to help...
Well, don't solicit any more business for me, Margo.
What I was saying was that WMON sometimes has litigation that needs to be settled.
Margo,
Margo, I'm sure that Draper appreciates the thought. Thank you. But he'll do just fine on his own. Besides, you've done enough for us already.
Yes, well, I just wanted to help. Well, I guess I'd better excuse myself and let you folks have your dinner in peace. I want to look up Elliott so he doesn't think that I'm neglecting him.
Bye-bye, Margo.
Hello, darling.
Margo, so glad you can make it.
Oh, well, I said I would be here, and here I am.
Aren't you having dinner with your daughter?
Oh, well, I stopped by the table to say hello, but I'm afraid I didn't get the warmest reception in the world from my son-in-law.
Well, that shouldn't wholly surprise you.
Oh, I suppose not. I have to learn to expect a cold shoulder from Draper. Honestly, I don't know why they don't tell more son-in-law jokes.
Listen, don't let that bother you. We can have a private dinner for two.
Oh, would you like that?
You know, that's something we've never done. A dinner all alone here in the Unicorn. Tonight's a very good night. We can sample the skills of our new chef.
Oh, I would like that very much.
And we'll do just that. We'll put a candle on the best table in the house. Get some nice champagne.
Oh, you're making me awfully glad I decided not to work late.
Oh, does it ever fail?
It doesn't seem to.
Yes, Mickey.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Dorn, but there's someone on the phone who really wants to talk to you. It sounds urgent.
Who is it? What could be so urgent?
They said something about suicide, Mr. Dorn.
Suicide? Okay, Mickey. I'll talk to them. Listen, you're about to close up, aren't you?
Yes, in a couple of minutes.
Okay, all right. Hello, Elliott Dorn here. Yes. No, I don't know any. What? Yes, of course I know Betsy Johnson, but I thought she left Monticello and went back home. My God. Do you think she's serious? No. No, I couldn't possibly do that. Look, I haven't seen the girl in more than a year. Why should she ask for me? No, listen, I'm telling you, that's out of the question. I can't do that right now.
Darling, what is it?
Hold on a second, will you? It's one of the young women from the Old Children of the Earth business, you know, Betsy Johnson. It appears that she's threatened to kill herself.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, she's going through some sort of emotional crisis, and she's locked herself in her room, and the only person she'll talk to is me.
Well, darling, you just have to go.
Margo, what about our dinner?
Sweetheart, we can have dinner anytime. Now, if anything ever happened to this girl and you thought you might have been able to help her, you'd never forgive yourself.
I guess you're right. As usual. All right, I'll be there. Just give me the address. But I want you to know that I have nothing to do anymore with anything even vaguely religious. I'm just a friend trying to help out, okay? Give me that address. Yes. Yes. All right, I'll be there. Goodbye. Oh, Margo, I can tell you how awful I feel about you having to go home alone.
Oh, well, then I just won't.
What?
No, I'll go home with Nicole. Keep her company. Her husband's working late, and we'll just stay together until one of our husbands decides that he is a married man. Oh, darling, I'm so proud of you for doing this.